Hello and welcome to the 4 a minute. 4PL Play for Fame 5 on the 5 July final by Tt.esports. I am impressed with myself. Welcome, and today I will be casting with my lovely co-caster, Spinnington. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
And the first match will be Fnatic versus Cplay. So yeah, the first two band champions will be Shen and Zyra. Zyra definitely proving to be one of the stronger AP carries on release. So yeah, go ahead and take me through those first bands.
Yeah, Shen is a very common ban just because he has this global teleport and he is really hard to deal with. He can push top lane and there's not a lot you can do about it because he's a very strong duelist, and then when the rest of your team forces a fight, say at Dragon or Baron or anything else, or even at another tower, he can teleport to them and make it a 4v5 and basically guarantee a win in the fight. And Zyra, obviously, is this new mage, somewhat of an unknown quantity, but people are starting to work out that she's really quite strong. She has huge burst, huge CC, and her saplings allow her this kind of sustained damage, which actually helps her really take objectives very quickly, like Dragon and Baron. Malphite has current meta is quite often to have an AD-style bruiser up top lane, and Malphite hard counters these, and is also a very strong jungler. So he's a very flexible and dangerous pick, and also late game he gives this really hard engagement. Karthus is kind of a monster late game. He farms for most of the game, but has this global ultimate which will hit anyone on the map, and that can really turn the tide in the team fight. And he can just sit in his lane, farm until he becomes this death machine that walks into your team, dies, but kills you all with him. And Maokai is a very strong jungler at the moment. He has very strong ganks with his root and pretty high damage too, and Nautilus is very much in the same boat.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that was a long one. So, that's what she said. It's already starting.
Oh, no.
So we do have Alistair as the first pick from Fnatic. That could be either in the jungle or bottom. We're just talking about Maokai and Nautilus being banned out. They are two of the strongest support junglers at the moment, and Alistair is of course the third. So we will have Janna, or potentially a Janna, on Cplay's team. And yeah, Alistair's really, really strong. Level 2, unlike a lot of junglers, he has a lot of ganking potential. And generally a lot of junglers will gank at level 3, maybe level 4, but he gains it a lot earlier. So it's really going to hurt you. You can go for the lane gank, you can go for the top gank. It's pretty much a secured kill as well if he plays it correctly and you burn the summoners. So we will have Corki and Nunu. Corki and Nunu being that bottom lane, or potentially Nunu in the jungle, but we have seen Corki and Nunu quite a few times actually in these 4PL games.
Yeah, I've got to say though, I don't really like Corki Nunu. Like as a lane for synergy, it doesn't. Like Corki likes to go with these kind of bursty proc carry kind of builds where he does quite a lot of damage for an AD carry in a short amount of time and then backs out. Whereas Nunu kind of favors these longer engagements with characters like Kog'Maw, who have an on-hit effect where he buffs their attack speed, and over the course of a longer fight, the difference in the attack speed between his AD carry and their AD carry will obviously bring them the win and make him do a lot more damage. But you know, I've seen it happen quite a lot, and obviously that attack speed buff is good on Corki. I just find that it's better on others. But at the same time, Corki is very strong right now, and you really can't go too far wrong like that. And Ezreal is also an extremely strong sort of proc carry at the moment. He tends to build a Triforce, which is different from standard AD carry because it doesn't scale quite as well into the late game, but because his Mystic Shot applies on hit, and Triforce, Trinity Force as it's known, has this proc based on your base AD, and you can apply that at range. It gives him a lot of burst, which is uncommon for an AD carry, which are more typically associated with sustained damage across a fight. And Ari, highly mobile, high damage, very difficult to lane against, just generally a very solid pick.
Yeah, definitely, and that's where the term proc carry came from. And very interestingly, like, I know I call it that, and I know you call it that, but I haven't heard like any other caster or any other person call it a proc carry, which is kind of interesting. Like, it was kind of when they were first playing, it's like, yeah, okay, it's a proc carry, but then that just disappeared. But either way, we will have Fiora and then Nocturne as the next two picks. Fiora, very interesting. Like, I would guess that's top because they do have the Nocturne. I wouldn't expect to say laning Nocturne. But Fiora is like Yi. It's like, okay, you can dunk pretty strong. Like, you have pretty strong dunks when you get going. But you need a lot of kills and a lot of farms to get going, as he's so hard to lane because pretty much everyone shuts her down. Like, everyone is a hard counter, which is not good when it comes to, well, a top laner. Because as a top laner, you're looking for the sustain, looking for the tankiness, which Fiora doesn't really give. And if you're looking for an AD carry or someone who outputs a lot of AD damage, then go ahead and take Hell. You have the range as well, you have a really nice ultimate, but either way, it would be very interesting to see what Cplay pull out here. Because obviously Fiora, quite a, not a seen pick, for sure.
She's very uncommon to see, but at the same time, I will say she does have a very high skill cap. She does have the tools to work around her weaknesses. Like, she has 2 dashes. She has her ultimate, which is a disjoint and can essentially nullify a projectile. It makes her actually very difficult to play against, like, a really good player. Although, at the same time, if she's playing against something like Olaf, who will just reckless swing, there's nothing she can do, really. She'll just get zoned out from the minions and get nowhere. And to be honest, I think she has problems late game as well, simply because she's a squishy glass cannon AD carry style of character, which just isn't really what you want in a team fight, because you will get bursted down so fast that it doesn't matter how much damage you're doing, you won't get to put it down. You'll just die.
Yeah, I see Fiora in the same way as you will see Yi. It's like great in like bot games and when you're leveling up at like level 5 and making a smurf, but other than that, it's just like doesn't bring a lot to it. And we will have Elite leaving the champion stack. Last one I saw was Mundo and something else, but of course because we do have the goldfish memories of the casters, I have no idea what the rest of them were.
I saw Jax.
Oh, Fiora equals LeBlanc. You angry me. You that is.
Right, yeah. This is something they often do when you have a team like this that doesn't have all the champions and it's a pre-arranged match. They pick a character that they will never pick, really, normally, and they'll say this character is actually a different one. Like, we would swap around if we had all the champions and it wouldn't be a problem, but one of our members doesn't actually have that champion and we're not in the right order. So now they're just pretty much banning random champions, and they'll pick the same champions over again, and should come out to be exactly the same result.
Should be. But we will have LeBlanc again. A fairly unconventional pick. Like, LeBlanc is, yes, seen in high elo play and in tournaments, but not very much. Looks like a sort of counter pick, and always the issue with obviously having a placeholder is the fact that it's like, okay, they're putting a placeholder down, then they're going to choose afterwards and they're trying to counter pick us, which is, you know, sometimes a bit dodgy and maybe unethical. But we will have the Mundo and then the Ari and Jace. Okay, interesting. Last time we saw Jace was in 3 games in the last tournament we saw, and he was bottom lane, basically going in a kill lane and going as AD carry. We haven't really seen him as top because honestly, people figured out he's just not as competent as most top laners. But then again, we'll see how Stars pulls this one up. We have seen him go Jace before. He did lose, but it's going to be interesting. He's against Jax, so it's looking interesting. I am interested in looking at Jace's runes, however. So we will.
I actually would give Jace more credit top lane than you seem to. His ability to knock people away while doing like a % of their health in magic damage is really huge, and his poke is actually very strong as well. Like his Shock Blast with Acceleration Gate combo. He does quite a lot of damage from quite a long range, and it's very difficult for you to close with him. And for Jax, who only has 1 gap closer, that's going to be a problem, because he'll want to jump in and start fighting him and land the counter-strike so that Jace can't really damage him in return. But if he can't get in to do that because he'll get booted away, then he's going to be in a bit of a pickle, really. He just can't really do anything.
Yeah, but for runes, he will have 16 physical damage, 13 armor, and then 11 magic resist. Taking a look at the masteries, he will be going 21-8. 21-8. Okay.
What?
That is interesting. I do not need the final point.
Somebody is messed up here.
21. I'm going to refresh it, because it is 21-8 at the moment, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds to me like he just
21-8.
was mashing, clicking, and forgot the final point.
That's amazing.
That's 30 health you won't have at the start. That falls off in significance later on, in significance, but right now that's actually quite a significant chunk of your health. If you start the game on 400, 30 is 10%.
Yeah, so anyway guys, for now we are going to cut off for a quick commercial break, and when we get back we will be in game for the first round of the finals of the 4PL July, and then, yeah, Fnatic versus Cplay. See you in a bit, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to the finals. This will be the first round, and it is between Fnatic and Cplay. So I am once again joined by my fantastic co-caster, Spuddington.
I am fantastic.
Among other things.
This joke.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those recurring things which is just like terrible. But have fun coming from Nocturne. No good luck. So you know, that's to say something about mentality. So not going to give you any heads up on this, guys. It's just going to be like, you know, have fun while you lose.
Not to the same level of gentlemanly play as we saw in that game where they weren't really taking it very seriously and started giving each other dragon timers in all chat. It was very gentlemanly, yeah. I'll give them that, you know. But, yeah. So it looks like they're just sort of fanning out into kind of a defensive position. They're covering as many jungle entrances as they can, but on both sides. Although Alistair's looking to shove a ward down at the enemy Wraith camp.
Yeah.
It's gonna... Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, interesting enough, like, just in case you're wondering why they've fanned out in this formation, is because in the jungle entrances, that's generally where wards go. So, basically, they're using themselves as mobile wards, references, haha, but they want those entrances warded, so basically they can't invade. If someone goes near into that entrance, then they're going to just back off, they're not going to fight them, or even like try and use any skills. It's just like, so they notify the rest of the team where they are. Jax just saw Xpeke down in the top jungle. He did hit her a couple times, so they know that they're there. But what are they doing?
I don't know. It looks like they're just going to take the Wraiths.
They're going to take the big one at least, yeah. Elite Magus gets some damage onto Xpeke. Chains goes down as well. Flash and Teleport follow. Ignite goes down onto Magus as well with Xpeke first. Bud goes down for Jax. Soaz still chasing after. Will he get this kill? He should do with the auto attack, but Elite, what's going to happen? Like, is Soaz going to carry on? It's
Neither
like
of them really have any damage.
Like, we've both used our ignites and cooldowns, now what? But that will be 1 for 1. They didn't get the first blood, but Soaz landing in mid. Okay, that's...
I guess he's just catching it because the creeps are closer and he just wants to keep it... Yeah, look, Ari is still heading to mid, so they are going to be having Jace go top afterwards.
Oh, they're actually going to catch Elite. Sana coming in from the side. Flash goes down. He should be okay though, like they didn't connect the cleaver, or in this case file, so they should be absolutely fine.
And it looks like Cyanide's going in to look at the enemy red again.
Gonna be Nocturne. Nocturne doesn't quite know he's there yet, he will meet him right now. Soaz has gone for the invade as well to the skies, and Knockback just helping him to the side, and Fail Flash goes down by Soaz. That was like a calamity. That was pretty interesting. Knocks him to the wall so he can flash over, and then Fail flashes after him. Outstanding.
But he's still going
going for the dive. He will get that, but will he be okay? He doesn't take the second tower shot. He will be good to go, the third rather, and he will be recalling. So he has...
going to lose out on a lot of creeps there though, because Jax is, well, whether he wants to or not, Jax is pushing this lane out by virtue of Jace not being in there to last hit. And yeah, those are going to hit the tower before Jace gets back, I expect. Although he's not pushing it as hard as he could. I don't really understand why that's the case.
I guess he doesn't really want to recall and just stay in range so he can get the XP. He doesn't want to fall too far behind. But meanwhile, mid, Xpeke doing a lot of damage to the log and again in turn. And meanwhile, bottom, Corki, everyone on low health, but no one quite dying.
Yeah, Alistair there just rammed Corki into the wall very nicely, but didn't pulverize to follow up. I guess because it was on cooldown already, and Ezreal wasn't really in position to follow up with that with some damage. And yeah, it just ended up taking. It was dangerous for a minute, but he didn't really suffer critical damage there. But it's not something you really want in bottom lane. You don't want to fall behind because it's a very trade-heavy situation. You can't just rely on you being able to outplay the enemy and avoid taking auto harass, because auto attacks will ignore creeps. That you'll just hit them over the head regardless of what they're actually doing to juke your shot. Yeah. And yeah, so Soaz actually now has a blue buff up top, which is going to make Jax's life really hard because he can spam acceleration gate shock blast combo almost whenever he wants. And yeah, there we go. Chunks off about what, 8% I'd say of Jax's health, which, you know, it's not huge at this stage, but it's really going to add up when he does it every 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, if you take a look at it, he has pretty much two forms of harass. He has the shock blast along with his acceleration gate, and then when he swaps forms, then he has the to the skies, and then he can knock them back as well. That's two forms of quite significant harass, and when he's got blue buff, he can just carry on doing it all day. He does have a ward down. He's going to see Nocturne as he comes up, but he might be too late. He's pushed up very heavily against the enemy tower. Who waves there? He's just clicked. Acceleration gate, that was not too good. Pops the ultimate once again, turns around, trying to get the trade with Jax, and Jax backs off. Nice juke, and it just went completely the wrong way and misses the shock blast. Fine. A lot of interesting plays from both teams right there, but there we go. Xpeke trading off with Talit in mid. He's taking a lot of damage, both also attacking each other while the cooldowns come off, but Xpeke trading off with LeBlanc pretty well, considering it's LeBlanc. Meanwhile, Boston High Switch taking a lot of damage as well from Lamia. They definitely have this lane under control, as well as Cyanide looking for a gank in mid. Jack's taking a lot of damage at the top, and he will not be finished off. I'm just waiting for something to happen in mid with Mundo. And the store goes down, he does not have the escape, he does have the chains going down right now. Xpeke following up with the damage. Orbital Deception goes down, and Nocturne not really sure whether he wants to help him out or not. And Cyanide will be picking up that with Burning Agony just on the very edge. And that'll be another kill for Fnatic.
And Nocturne's going to be taking some karmic damage from Dr. Mundo. Just walk into your wraiths. If your enemy mid is dead, and your mid is obviously still alive and kicking, you have a lot more invasion power as a jungler. You can literally
Meanwhile,
just walk into the enemy
Bottom
jungle.
and Rated going for the dive, gets the kill, putting that straight onto Lamia, and turning around, potentially looking for another kill onto Nunu. Creeps are pushing in, looking for very scary times. Nunu, Ignite goes down, Lamia will not be tanking, will be going on to Rated, and Lamia has been slowed by the snowball. Nocturne coming in, I don't think he's going to get the kill, but he'll at least scare them off. Nunu coming back in, I'm not sure if that's the best of ideas. Nocturne still chasing after.
Burn him down.
Yeah.
Him.
Then again,
Nocturne is pretty dedicated pursuit here.
And Flash goes down by Nunu, punches, and will get the kill with the Fist of Fury, despite Nocturne doing all the work. That was a classic example of scumbagging, right there. And that will be another kill.
I'm actually kind of surprised that neither of the mids made it down there in time, considering how long that fight took. But that happens sometimes.
Actually, nice switch going straight onto N-rated, and Mundo coming out the bush. Nunu goes in, realizes he's on no health, exhaust goes down, and will be picked up immediately by Cyanide. It's like, I swear I had more health than this, and not be working
it's a very
working out.
situation. But like I said, if your mid is dead and you are obviously a jungler wanting to invade, then it's very simple for you to do that. If you it's very simple for you to do that if the enemy mid is dead, because they obviously have no presence. They can't come and kill you, and your mid can come and support you if you cut into a 1v1 with the enemy jungler. And yeah, this is part of the problem with the Nunu Corki lane actually at bot. Nunu can't do anything to stop Alistair getting on Corki.
Lamia going to go straight into high switch. He should be okay. I mean, M-rated was not in range and he didn't have any mana. LeBlanc coming down, however, this could be a pick. I think Corki more than anything was just trying to bait them out. LeBlanc can surely pick up a kill onto N-rated, and there it is. Pops the Ignite for no real apparent reason, but auto attack would be fine. But then again,
I think maybe it had been 2 auto attacks, and he didn't really want to risk losing that kill when it was so easy for him.
Yeah,
at that
for sure.
point. But like I say, Nunu having a lot of problem keeping Alistair off of Corki. Like, Alistair likes to jump in, do his actually quite significant burst damage at early levels, and in the process he keeps Corki from doing any damage while Ezreal lays down some serious pain. But Nunu wants to keep enemies off of his carry, but he can't stop Alistair because he essentially has a gap closer in Headbutt. He just, it's a dash. It's not something Corki can, Nunu can slow to stop. You kind of try and zone him, but he can't really do much because if...
Oh, Talit has been caught by the charm pop over the wall from Xpeke. Interesting juice coming from LeBlanc. Should go back into Mundo. Nocturne coming in as well, will be taking a lot of damage. Will they go for the dive? Probably. Ignite goes down, flash out of the way of To the Skies. And High Switch coming there as well, along with Jax. Following up the Sailors, that will be a kill. Snowball goes down onto Cyanide. Xpeke looking to do some damage as he retreats. But surely Cyanide going to go down. Yeah, there it is, and that was 2 for 1 onto LeBlanc, and then onto Soaz and Cyanide.
Yeah, that was
no.
a classic case of diving a tower. Like, they weren't necessarily... Yeah, they were diving the tower, but they weren't going very deep under the tower.
Nunu in the most precarious of positions is now being caught by N-rated. Xpeke is now realised and is now following up after him. Ignite goes down, looking for the Foxfires. Orbital Deception just misses. Will Nunu escape? Teleneater is coming in as well, looking for the burst combo onto Xpeke. Ultimate pop down by N-rated, popping it off with the headbutt. And LeBlanc picking up a kill in turn. N-rated is going to meet LeBlanc, and they're just going to go ahead and walk past. Can LeBlanc pick up the kill here as well? Has used the ultimate. I don't think she's just got enough damage, and here's a headbutt for the road. Actually, high switch popping over the wall. Again, out of range for pretty much all of his skills. Cyanide coming in from the side as well. Okay, I think everything's cooled down now.
Well, yeah. Jax is still farming away, but I think Jax is probably starting to reach the point where he's going to be able to just duel Jace. Although, actually, yeah.
Gonna try to, but can't initiate with Thundering Blow. And Noxon coming in to the side, he has been spotted. Talit coming in as well. This is not looking good for Soaz, and there's the pick. Straight up. When he saw LeBlanc, it was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And it was just,
goodbye.
The awkward moment.
Tell my wife I love her.
It.
Yeah, it was... what LeBlanc likes to do when she's mid, she is a really harsh presence for her mid laner who she's against, but that's not her primary strength. What she really likes to do is to roam and gank. She loves to be able to just, to go top, and her burst combo on a single target at this stage of the game, she can almost, if not actually, 100% someone's health. She can take them from full health to naught by just using all her abilities on them, and possibly ignite as well. And that makes her such a strong presence as a ganker, especially considering she can also root them, she can also silence them, and that really leaves them very few options.
As you were saying, LeBlanc actually going on to Xpeke. Juxon's brush does not have vision, ultimate goes down by Xpeke and will be picked up. Don't think he was expecting quite the burst damage from LeBlanc, though it is LeBlanc. So,
yeah,
did kind of underestimate that. Meanwhile, mid they are sieging.
Yeah, Ari there was mistaken and thought LeBlanc had used her ultimate already. She can't... Hang on.
Something could be happening mid. Cyanide has been caught, and QW combo from N-rated will keep him alive for now. Pickup goes straight onto Cyanide as Mundo. And Snowball as well, that would just be an easy pick, right?
Yeah. The counterplay to LeBlanc, of course, is that she has very little ability to push out a lane. When she wants to roam and gank, it becomes very difficult for her to do so if every time she moves anywhere, her lane gets shoved into her tower and she misses two-weighted creeps, because that actually adds up to being more than the kill that she creates. Although, actually, yeah, Free Dragon.
Yeah, Free Dragon goes down. N-rated trying to stop this from happening. He will just be QW comboing in, but will die for his troubles, just trying to get vision on that Drake. That'll be one pick. Will they get more? They are chasing after. I'm not sure they can fight this. They are currently hitting LeBlanc's clone, and Pride Rich will be under there. Will they go for the blue invade? I don't think so.
Yeah, LeBlanc's ultimate on there was on cooldown, and that removes a lot of her burst. Because the way LeBlanc's skills work, she needs abilities to proc her other abilities. She needs to land an ability on someone who's already hit by another one of her abilities to get her maximum damage output. So if her ultimate is there, which mimics her previous ability, then she can't...
See, Magus could be caught out here. Flash goes down, and the file. Lamia following up the auto attacks, and return from Orbital Deception will take Magus out. And yeah, again, an easy pick. Just picks happening all over the place. Not really team fights, just people being randomly picked up from bad positioning and good picks from the enemy team.
Yeah, and I've got to say, Fnatic actually has a really good team for picks. They have... Every single one of their members, I think, has a gap closer, except Mundo, and he has his ultimate for a movement speed boost, and he has cleavers, which are incredibly annoying and impossible to get away from. They have basically high mobility and a high amount of CC and a high amount of burst. That makes it very difficult.
Meanwhile, mid flashes down by Talit, and Ari will be out of there.
Yeah, okay. If you get caught by one, it becomes very difficult to get away from the rest of them, and you will die very quickly. And then they can... use that advantage to push for an objective. For instance, they can go to Dragon, they can go to Baron, they can push down a tower when they're in a 4v5 situation, and obviously then at a big advantage.
Yeah, that's something really nice with their composition. It's definitely the composition they've gone for. Just take a look at the enemy composition in Jax. Gonna push this out, I think. I don't think they're really gonna go into towers, but looking for the tower at least, try to force something to happen, which kind of makes sense because they feel that they're behind, which they are, very slightly, but they are behind. Taking a look at the enemy team, again, they have a bit of a pick team. They have LeBlanc on the team, so they're looking for like the early mid-win. But, yeah.
Yeah, LeBlanc has some problems with her late game damage. Unless there's someone very squishy for her to burst down, her damage reaches a point where she doesn't 100% you. And if she can't 100% you, then she's honestly not doing her job, because she then just becomes a player that takes one of your players down to 70%, and then she's done. That's all she's got. The cooldowns are too long for her to be able to do much in a teamfight situation where she's trying to land 2 bursts, especially considering how squishy she is and needs to focus out.
Yeah, speaking of, moved on to by Soaz, distort over the wall. Got great mobility though, Blanc, but as you said, wow, that was a good shock blast. Took out Talib and Friedrich, but yeah, as you were saying, again, they kind of have a pick team, and that's what they kind of need. Like, if they're going to go for team fights, they have to go for them kind of like now, before LeBlanc's damage, as you said, scales off. Again, they're looking for picks, they're looking to get a pick, go for a team fight, and then probably LeBlanc's cooldowns will be back up as well. So, yeah, I'm confused as to what they're looking for right now, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like they're just looking for Jax to carry them late game. And I think that might be not a good idea, honestly, because he's not in a position right now to do a lot of carrying. He's behind on CS? No, he's equal on CS, but not so great on kills right now. And he's not going to scale up to become a real monster until sort of very late game at this rate. He's not going to, he's not going to be Jax properly until he's reached 35 minutes or so. And I'm not sure this game's going to go on that long, frankly. But at the same time, LeBlanc can, she's going to remain relevant so long as they never engage in a team fight. This is the counterpoint to the fact that she falls off very hard. Her cooldown for her ultimate, for her main burst, is actually quite short. It's not going to come up twice in one team fight usually, but if you are just roaming around looking to pick one enemy off, she's going to burst down that one enemy for a significant amount of their health and make sure they won't get away. Even late game if they have magic resist.
N-rated might be caught right here. Tether did not land. Flash goes down along with the unbreakable will. High switch is following with the damage. Headbutt goes down as well. Lamia just trying to do some damage, trying to deter them. High switch still chasing after. Whoopi got the kill. LeBlanc coming in from the side. Ultimate goes down with the paranoia straight onto Xpeke. Whoopi getting out there with the ultimate. High switch will fall. Cyanide looking for more damage, and Noxon will also fall from Cyanide. That being Mundo. Mundo looking for the kill onto LeBlanc. Tether goes down with the chains. Magnus still wailing on Mundo with continued sustained damage. Soaz going out with the to the skies will pick up the kill with another auto attack with the extra damage from his ultimate, and I think that will be all the kills for now. But that was 2 for 4 in the favour of Fnatic.
Yeah, that's not an ideal situation. If you have this team which to a certain extent scales off because it has LeBlanc, then you don't want to be falling behind in mid-game team fights. That means you are going to have a serious problem when it comes, because if you're losing team fights at this stage, it's only going to get worse for you at later stages of the game, and if you're not going to be able to close out the game early enough if you are suffering in this regard, if you are behind like this. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation for them right now. I'm trying to think what their best play right now, but honestly I think they just have to keep going for these picks. They just have to keep trying to pick off valuable targets. And actually, honestly, I think part of their problem right now is just warding. Like, they've only got, what?
They might get the pick once they get onto Alistair. Thunder goes down, will land with the root. And Orb Deception goes down by Xpeke, but he should be safe. Once again, he has been caught while counter-warding. So as you said, one of that problem is High Switch being caught by Sars, however, goes in with to the skies and knockback with the E, flashes over the wall just in case the rest of them are there. Will the Ignite finish him off? It will not. He will in fact survive with 30 HP, the rest of the team mobilizing around that area. But as you were saying, the problem is, right now, vision. They do not have the vision, but Alistair's doing a great job of counter-warding, and they're trying to get the pick on to Alistair, who is counter-warding. Magnus potentially caught, no, he should be okay. They are looking at this Drake, they are forcing him back off it at the moment, and the damage right now from Jace's Shock Blast. Ultimate goes down, the buy, Xpeke once again, Flash goes down to try and remove the presence of the ultimate, creating some gap between them, and his ultimate's down, so that's pretty significant. But so is Paranoia, they didn't really have the initiate, they should be able to pick up this Drake for free, and yeah, the rest of Cplay are just dispersing.
Yeah, they had taken too much poke damage from the Jace and the Ahri combo, and Cleavers. In fact, looking at Fnatic's team, they've got amazing poke. Every single one of their team, apart from Alistair, has like a primary ability that can also be used as a poking ability. So yeah, it's really interesting composition actually, because to counter this kind of forcing a team fight when you're in a 4v5 situation, one of the best things you can do is to have your team able to just poke them. If you can make it impossible for them to even take an objective in a 4v5, then a pick is going to be doing them a lot less good than it would otherwise. Because if, say Alistair gets picked off and killed by the enemy team, they are going to suffer in an actual 5v5 team fight, in a 4v5 team fight, where they go in because they won't have his CC, they won't have his damage, they won't have his presence and his heals. But if they're fighting around Dragon and they're just throwing in Mystic Shots, they're throwing in Shock Blasts, they're throwing in Cleavers, they're throwing in Orbital Deception, and they're doing it repeatedly and often, and every time the enemy tries to engage they just back off, then they're going to obviously make it a lot harder for them to take the objective in any kind of reasonable time. And obviously that decreases the value from the picking off of the Alistair in this example. But obviously Dragon right now isn't up, but they're starting to get towards the point where they could think about Baron, although currently probably not quite strong enough. Like, if they ace the enemy team and are all on high health, then yes, they could do it, but otherwise they're not going to be in a good shape if they try to go for Baron right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, top Magnus has potentially been caught by Solas and N-rated, taking a lot of damage from turret. However, Alistair forced to back off, but auto attacks should finish him down. Honestly, I don't think he should have leap striked back in. Like, I don't think he needed to. It would take an extra 2 seconds for Solas to catch up, and the rest of his team was there. They could have gotten the pick onto Solas, but even so, he will fall. And yeah, they did have that pick. So as you were saying, you've raised a very interesting point at the composition, and that they have the pick and they have the poke as well. Honestly, Cplay are going to lose this on composition alone because they don't really have either. They don't have any sort of composition that can stop that from happening. They have decent hard engage, and Fnatic actually going with the engage themselves, and landing a perfect WQ combo, hitting all three people. High switch will fall immediately, chunking up about 30% of health in an instant. Noxa coming in to try and assist, but he will flash in for the kill on the 2 Xpeke. Well play coming down from Ezreal, and I think they know it's over. Actually teleporting back up to top to farm, apparently.
Yeah.
I think they know this is over. Xpeke has paid Riot, so that's well, that was some interesting mechanics. Leaf Strike goes in, but Headbutt goes from Enraged, knocking him halfway through the animation back to where he was jumping from.
My uncle works at Riot, I swear. You paid someone there. But, honestly, yeah, they're in a pretty dire situation right now. Even though the gold difference between them is actually 4,000, it's not huge. It's not small either. They have a significant advantage, but they know that their team composition is going to get weaker and weaker in comparison to Fnatic's as the game goes on, and they know they're already behind. They need some kind of like wizard play to actually come back in this game, basically.
Yeah.
If they could get, an ace and a Baron, that would obviously throw them way into the lead again. But obviously, right now, problems. And like I say, Alistair has been really dedicated in dewarding, and that's because of this kind of picking mentality. If you can't see an enemy who's out on his own, then you can't pick him off. You can't, just charge into the jungle. If you don't have the vision, you can't make the informed decisions. And that obviously weakens your ability to take someone out. It becomes kind of a warding fight, but right now, because they're behind on gold, they can't really afford oracles, so they're just going to lose in the warding fight, and obviously that's going to throw them further behind because it's going to take them longer to get picked. It's going to make their composition weaker. You know, all of these sort of snowballing effects are kind of coming together, and it's making life very difficult for Cplay right now.
Yeah, and it looks like, well, Fnatic have just been roaming around. As you said, Alistair has just made it his mission. Like, for the last 5 minutes, I've just been watching him, and he literally has all he's been doing, just roaming up and down the river in his jungle, just dewarding. That's all it's been. And now they are looking towards Baron. I think Cplay know this as well. Whether they can win the fight is another matter, but they're going to have to try something, because if they get the Baron, then it's probably going to be over. Very interesting though that Fnatic is going for it, because Baron is one of those things which can turn the game even if you're ahead, and forcing it may not be the best thing unless you're incredibly far ahead. Then again, if you get a pick onto Jax, then that is very good. Ultimate goes down by Xpeke as the Orb of Deception misses the charm. Paranoia goes down, hits Xpeke in the face. Jace will also be taken out by LeBlanc. Shutdown goes onto LeBlanc as well, but Nocturne, will he escape from the Catua's Cleavers? He does connect another one. Ultimate goes down by Nunu, doing a small chunk of damage. Generated coming in from the side as well. Q into the Pulverize, knocking up 2 people. Double kill goes down for Mundo. That was 1 pick for free. And whether they can push for Baron, I'm not sure. High Switch will be caught by Xpeke, N-rated from Cyanide, and Xpeke on very low health. Ignite goes down. Will he survive? He will pick up the kill. 1-for-1 trade, but he saw the low health Fnatic. Xpeke did not expect the rest of them to be there, and Nocturne really can't follow up on this one.
Alistair did lose his oracles though. That's 400 gold it's gone down the drain. So, you know, that's actually quite a serious cost. But at the same time, he has allowed Fnatic free reign to push down towers while the rest of their team revives. So yeah, probably actually works out for the trading the oracle for the tower. But yeah, that's and like we say, this snowballing effect, the Fnatic team right now is getting further ahead. Their gold lead has increased. It's difficult, very difficult for them.
Yeah, and I don't think Alice has really had to buy another oracles for quite a significant length of time, so he'll probably be good to go buying another one fairly soon. I think he just picked up a different. He's actually gone for Void Staff. That is
that's
interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. How much AP has he got?
Yeah, he's
95.
95. That's not a lot of AP, but Alistair's base damages are actually pretty high.
Yeah.
Like, his damage is quite high, and if your enemies are stacking a lot of magic resist, which they're actually not, that can, you know, it can be a valid purchase. I wouldn't say it was the biggest. I wouldn't actually recommend doing that myself, but you know, it does actually increase his output, his damage output, pretty significantly.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that's a conventional build, considering Ari has indeed bought a Warmogs. So then
Will
again,
not get focused out.
they are good items. They're just maybe not the best items to be picking at this stage, and I think Fnatic know they've probably got this and are just doing some interesting meta builds. They will be pushing down mid for the
To be fair though, Xpeke getting a Warmog.
It's close range, however, High Switch has been caught. When it goes down, will he get the kill? Xpeke going really far in, and I know what your point was going to be, but Alice going in as well with the WQ combo. Talib will have to get out of there. Nunu popping the ultimate, will not hit anything, jumping in along with Jax. So that's taking a lot of damage along with the exhaust to keep him in place. Will he get the kill? Turning around to do some more damage. Thunder Strike goes down, and he will be dead. But along with Jax, so 1-for-1 trade. But I know what your point was going to be. It was like, yes, it makes it tanky because she's going to be diving into melee range because of her ultimate, but that didn't do her too much good when she jumped into 4 people.
It's partly that, but it's also LeBlanc. LeBlanc is going to want to focus out anyone she can find that's squishy, and if you look at Ezreal's build, he's building to counter her as well. He's got Hex Drinker and is building more of Malmortius, which is a very strong magic resist item that's going to prevent her from bursting him. And like same with Ari, she's building a Warmogs because it means that LeBlanc is going to reach that stage where she just can't kill anyone, and you know that's when she's useless effectively.
Yeah, and they might get a pick though onto Fnatic 3 versus 3. I'm not convinced that they couldn't just turn around and turn it.
Mundo file.
Mundo file indeed. And another interesting thing about the Warmogs on Ari, LeBlanc has a Zephyr Grass. If LeBlanc was doing well, then I'm not sure it was like the best of picks because, well, it's chunking off a percentage of your health. So it's always going to be a percentage. But then again, as you said, the rest of the skills will never really get to the stage where you can chunk off that much health in itself. So Warmogs is a good item. You could probably just get better items, maybe like a Rylai's. But Lamia has caught Frederick. He just can't really output the damage. But that's generally what Rhylight is there for. You want health, you get Rhylight. You get slow, and you get so much utility with it.
The other thing is that Ahri also has an Abyssal Scepter, so she has the magic resist to back up that Warmogs against Deathfire Grasp.
Yeah.
Deathfire does a percentage of your health, so having more health is obviously not a good way of dealing with it. But if you have magic resist as well, then you can seriously mitigate that. And obviously LeBlanc is not currently in a situation to burst her down. I'd say she probably is in the situation where she can't burst down anyone. She can still make Ahri's life very difficult because she has, if you combo your skills correctly, I think you can get, what, a 6-second silence out of LeBlanc's skills?
Pretty close to that, to the point where it is effectively 6 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're an ability-based champion like Ahri, who, you know, all her damage, all her utility comes from her skills, 6 seconds in which you can't do that, that's serious.
And potential engage gonna happen? No, they're just looking to seize the turret, keep them away from it with the threat of an engage. Jumping over the wall from LeBlanc, double the stall for no particular reason, and we'll jump back to the original point high switch, potentially Core going out to the side, but it's just a murder train at the moment. There's literally no counterplay for it. Expecting picking the kill onto Corki, and he will be following up onto Nocturne, see if they can get the Cyanide just diving at 2 Nexus turrets. It's absolutely fine.
Mundo goes where he pleases. He
quite literally.
Really does not care.
At this stage, no. And it looks like they will literally just push for the finish. Like this is very little they can do. They will charge in and die.
Yeah.
Pick up the kill onto Expected there because he's just randomly taking cannon to the face, but he will die to get the kill onto Ajax and just waiting for the inevitable basically.
Oh yeah, one small fun fact about Jace. If you activate his ranged W and then switch to hammer form, it retains the steroid, the attack speed steroid.
Wow. That is interesting. Try to imagine that.
It actually really helps with his burst combo in the early game.
Yeah. That is interesting, I have to try that out at some point. But either way, that'll be Fnatic picking up the first game against Cplay. I believe it's a best of 1. So, yeah, we'll be moving on to the next game soon. Any closing remarks before we move to the next game?
Not a lot to say there, really. Fnatic had the better late game. They played the early game well enough that, honestly, snowballing champion like LeBlanc just couldn't swing the game. She was just unable to do enough damage. It was kind of unfortunate.
Yep, so yeah, until next game guys, stay tuned, we'll be back in a bit.